Welcome everyone to the Game Dev Discussion Podcast. This week we've got the man, the myth, the legend. He's back, Jeremy Estrellado. How are we, bro? You're back.
You didn't tell me you were gonna intro me like that. That's super freaking weird, man.
Dude, what do you expect me to do? Like, it's
know.
you, it's the man, it's Mr. DiNusty.
I'm just a guy. Oh, dude, I'm just a guy with a squeaky chair. I need to figure out where to get WD-40 or whatever it's called over here.
Dude, the tool to fix everything. Every bloke, like, anything's broken, you could actually have like the chair in half. Needs a bit WD-40 and I'll fix that up.
We'll just glue it together.
Mate, I like in a new office as well. Like, nice open space. You're no longer in a cubby hole. You're no longer Harry Potter.
I don't. What?
You watch Harry Potter? Come on.
Oh yeah, it's just like, man, if I had stairs in my apartment, I'd be living the dream of Sweden.
Is that like
stairs so small?
Oh really? Is that if you have stairs, you're middle to upper class if you have a set of stairs in your house or flat?
Yeah, actually, now that I'm thinking about it,
when me and Shah,
I don't think I've been in an apartment that has stairs.
I mean, to be fair, when me and Shah were looking at Malmo last year, and there was a lot of houses, but they were all very they're like bungalow-esque, or like they had like like a half landing type thing. Like it wasn't your traditional UK home where it's just like bottom floor, top floor, and yeah, it's weird. So congratulations, obviously, on being a lead artist now.
Thanks.
So it's funny because we had Josh on, and we were like, oh yeah, the big slogan for the podcast was "Not all good seniors make good leads." Well, I think since I've known you, I've been like, when you eventually become a lead, you're going to be a very, very good lead.
It'll be natural. Yeah.
But I want to. As soon as you got made lead, I haven't really been able to speak to you about this. We've been both so busy. What I feel as if running a community has probably helped you develop some of the skills to be a good lead.
Oh, dude. Yeah, no, it's totally true. Just from just seeing how people interact and understanding. This sounds crazy because I have horrible memory, but for some reason, when it comes to things that involve the game development or stuff with the Empire, my memory is quite high. Mm-hmm. So I'll remember how certain people's skill level or how they kind of approach problems or the issues or just all the little nuances that make that person who they are when it comes to them being a better artist or what they're interested in. Somehow I can remember it and it sticks to their username. And it's not everyone, because I mean there's a ton of us now. I think there's I don't know how many there are, 5,000 something.
More than that. I think we hit 5,000 like 2 months ago, dude. It's probably more than that at this point.
I don't know what it is. I won't look at it right now. It'll just stress me out. It's not a number I need to worry about. I just need to focus on making sure we all keep learning.
Dude, isn't that weird? All of our team, so it's there's me, you, Lucas, newly Michael as well, and Martin. It's we don't really need to pay much attention to the number. We just keep making content and keep trying to be of value.
Yeah, just keep going. Just keep going. I was trying to remember. There's a guy. Oh, I already forgot his name. He's in here, and he messaged this morning, and he goes dude, I've been following you since you were working on that Western Wagon thing. And I'm like, what the hell? What? That literally means he was watching me stream when I was literally waiting for a visa to move to Sweden. That's pre-Discord.
That's 5-6 years ago, right?
That's over 6 years ago.
Holy shit. That's pretty great, dude. That's crazy.
That's insane, dude. Yeah. So, but yeah, now we have we have the YouTube channel. We've got your podcast you're doing, and Michael joining the YouTube channel, which is really cool. Just more content.
It's weird actually. I suppose for you, observing the Discord community, you've watched. I mean, so how long have you been running the Discord now? What, over 4 years?
It's 4 years, in a month or so.
So it's you've been able to watch tons of artists' development. You're seeing them go through. It's almost cyclical. You're okay, and watching people's development and seeing how different people develop at different paces. All of these things, I imagine, are going to like contribute to your ability to lead, right? Because you have such a sample size.
Yeah, the other thing is like understanding the flow of so I'm sure people who just got into games or people have experienced like getting into games and then kind of falling off with some other things is you'll get into games and then all of a sudden you just kind of disappear from social media, or you'll disappear from Discord and you'll be gone for 6 months to a year. And that basically happens to everyone. I haven't seen anyone break that pattern yet. They just kind of they go away for a little while.
Yeah, I think I spoke about that in the isolation learning courses. Like when you land that first gig or when you land a new gig, take that time to just recharge, because leading up to getting that gig, I guess you're having to go like, million miles an hour trying to land it. And it's like once you landed it, it's like, okay, you've earned that, chill. You don't have to grind anymore. Or at least you don't have to grind as hard until you have to look again.
Dude, and breaking that pattern is difficult.
Oh yes, but you've never seen it. You've never seen anyone like break, because obviously you've run this community for so long. You've never seen someone like just sort of go, nah, as soon as I land a job, go, I'm still at it.
Yeah, I mean, the moment someone joins a company, usually you'll see them just kind of quit logging into the Discord, or they just kind of go quiet. And I would say that's like 95% of the time. So it's like I know when someone's about to start, I just talk with them more and get an idea for how they're feeling about stuff, and just kind of prepping them for that first. This is so weird that I do this, but like prepping them for like their first week or their first month at a studio, because once they get there, it's a flood of like learning names and like understanding the pipeline and how their tools work, and there's so many things that are happening. You just, when you get home, you crash. You go home, you eat, and you sleep. And if you're lucky, you play games, but most likely you're stressing about building on your portfolio that you don't necessarily need to be anymore.
Yeah, it's funny because I had someone. So I was speaking to Kieran about this. I had someone reach out about. They were just asking how to. They're at a studio and they're like, they kind of felt guilty. They weren't still working on a portfolio. They were seeing like, obviously there's lots of people in our industry who have jobs who still grind away. And I was kind of like, dude, you are building your portfolio. It's just that you're seeing people's like drip feed content out, but as soon as your game drops, a ton of portfolio work. Like by working, you're doing your portfolio. So that's the norm. That should be the rested norm, not constantly doing personal work. Like personal work isn't like a luxury, not even a luxury. It's like it's not a necessity. Once you land that job, if you just want to do your 9 to 5.
Yeah.
This one thing you mentioned now, though, like prepping people for when they start. There's one thing I just want to hear your thoughts on this, because I don't know whether I'm on my own in terms of thinking this. The difficulty I find, and the thing that's really stressful for me, is understanding who's who in a company. And what I mean is like, who are the loud voices? Who are the quiet voices? Who are the ones I should be listening to? And not just like leads. There's some juniors who are absolutely shit hot because they're juniors. Their voice isn't as loud, but when you hear them talking, like, holy shit, this guy's spitting facts. Like, that's what I find stressful. You found that as well?
Yeah, I mean, I think the best course of action is exactly what like Matthew, I think I've talked about this before, Matthew O'Halloran, when I moved here, he basically poked at me about how I would jump into stuff or like how I was discussing things. And he poked at me enough that I started self-analyzing, and I just stepped back and I kind of quit talking. And that sounds really bad, but I quit talking because I was just like, all right, I'm just going to listen. And I think that was a huge like paradigm shift in how I process everything that goes into my brain now. And it actually most likely has helped me with the Empire stuff as well. Because it's just like, just listening. Just listen to everyone and you'll see where people like rest naturally. You don't have to say anything to see it.
Yeah, and also there's that whole thing of like, let someone talk long enough and they'll hang themselves. It's something I've always like thought.
Yeah, there is that too.
Dude, I've seen some people where like initially when I first like joined the company and I'm like, holy shit, this guy's the guy. This is the one I should be listening to. And I'd listen to every word they said, and then sort of you listen to them talk long enough and you sort of go, is he just talking shit? Is he like literally winging it? And it turned out he was just throwing buzzwords and jargon around, and he was to everybody, like artists, devs, directors, producers, and it's like, oh, okay, as I've got more experience, you don't know what you're talking about. You're literally winging it. And I'm like, but he kept talking to the point where like my knowledge of like, because obviously we do art all day, every day. He was throwing art jargon around, and early on, I didn't know there was bullshit. But then I'm like, wait, I know that's not right. That's completely wrong. Like,
dude, that's
through experience.
so funny.
Have you not seen that, dude? These people, man.
I think the way you're processing it and the way I process it are completely different, while still getting the same result. Like, I just naturally will gravitate. Like, you'll always see me smiling and laughing, but I'm always naturally gravitating towards the people like that I'm hearing the information with, that I want to hear and learn about in game development. So you'll always actually see me hanging out with the interns or the new people, because they're bringing in the ideas and thoughts that are outside of the box of what everyone else at like top tier long industry experience are thinking. So they'll have like new ways of approaching the same technique, or a thing that completely bypasses it. And now you've saved, like, over the course of a year, you've saved like a month's worth of work.
I guess the younger artists as well, like the interns and the juniors, are the ones who also, they're the ones who are going to bring the new tools in. Like, let's face it, as artists, we get stuck in our ways quite quickly. And like the artists who have longevity, obviously, pick up new skills and new tools. But I always find it's the younger artists who are like, hey, do you see this tool? And it's like, no, I haven't. I'll check it out. And then like a year later, but it's like a year later, it then blows up, and you're like, holy shit, okay, that guy knew it. Like, they are almost ahead of the curve because they're so in it. They're like, we're too busy working full time sometimes to see it.
You're making a game, right? And then you've got a student who's pushing their portfolio. And that's another main reason that people want to keep pushing on the portfolio, is because you feel like you're falling behind if you're not paying attention to like the new tools coming out and all that. And like, yeah, it's like, don't worry about that too much, and just focus on, like, now that you've switched into making games, you can do that. And then just look at the new people coming in, or just being online and part of a community. You can be engaged in the community and not even be making any art. And you can be absorbing, like I swear I got better at hard surface modeling just by watching people hard surface model without ever doing it.
Like, yeah, because you sort of absorb the information.
It's slower, but you can get some principles out of the way, and then your muscle memory will like kick in once you start to actually do it.
I think it's also allowed you could do the same with just like looking at people's final work. I mean, this is what I did with Matthew Halloran. It's like just observing his pieces and going, that's a really interesting design. Why is that he's going with that design? And there's like a consistency across his pieces where it's like it all feels right. And like, I mean, you have to be going up in trying to, you can't, it isn't something that comes naturally, I guess, but it's like, you're looking and you go, why is that feeling right? Oh, it's this is scale, it's the design language, whatever it might be. Being able to look at something, even though I'm never going to touch them type of props, it's like watching people do it, or at least observing their final, their sort of end product. It's like, how did they get there? Reverse engineering. And it's like I said, you pick up them principles without ever doing it and never touch it. Yeah. Same with you at Blender. Some of the stuff I'm watching you do on Blender and Twitch, I'm like, okay, I'm probably not going to do this, but I kind of know how to do it now because I've watched you do it. Like Decal Machine, when you were playing Decal Machine.
It exists. You now know that direction exists, that path that you can take. Yeah.
Something's just occurred to me. I bet you're a fucking ninja now at like critiquing people's work at work, or like reviewing portfolios for like applicants now, because you've spent 5 years live streaming yourself doing it.
Yes. So oh man, I'm still really bad at interviews. I don't like to put people under pressure, because there's interview questions where you can kind of go in that route. And if like, I just don't like, I want to sit there and see who they are and like look at their portfolio and just talk about their art.
But you don't have to put them under pressure. Like this is actually interesting. Like, I think
but
it's
like
an
a
old
thing
school,
that's in the back of my head.
I think it's a very old school idea of the whole put them under pressure. Like, see what they're like under pressure.
Give them a weird question and see what happens.
Like, I mean, and now you're a lead, I suppose this is even more problem. But I guess you don't want them to be under too much. Like an ideal work environment, they're able just to work. They're not under pressure and someone breathing down their neck. Right. They should be working organically. So you're almost testing for a worst case scenario by doing that.
Yeah,
How do you
it's
get some good responses?
with the whole like with switching to lead, it was man, it was so natural because it went from me making art and detailing and propping and making scenes to like, this sounds terrible for some people, but going to meetings and listening to like the broad spectrum of like what the direction you want to go with something,
Mm-hmm.
right? And for a lot of people, especially artists that are very new to game development or are like, I don't know, mid-level senior, they would avoid meetings forever if they could, because meetings just burn time. I love meetings and I don't know why. I guess it's just knowledge,
I
because then
think it
I
was the same
start
as
to
me. Like
understand the broad spectrum.
you like discussing ideas. That's it. I mean, me and you have sat in chats for hours and we lost track of time where we're just talking about like things. We're just talking about this one tiny little idea that then snowballs into something else. You like discussing ideas. You don't get paid to do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
What
What's
about
the
you?
other thing that's really nice about it is the fact that like I have a team of people, right? And
Mm-hmm.
I'm making sure they're all good. And for them to be comfortable with me enough to come to me with either a question that's personal for them or like a question about the project and they don't know what's happening, I'm now in a position where I can unblock them. And I've always wanted to be able to have a group of artists where I can just enable them through either unblocking or empowering them through features or things that I've seen online. I'm like, dude, you should try this, or like this thing's crazy, or this will help you do this. And just feeding that to a team of people and watching them produce faster and faster and faster with no extra like mental burn.
I mean, I am
So
jealous
good.
of your team. I'm very jealous of your team.
It's like having that. It's like having a soda and then you know the burn at the back of your throat, and you're like, it's that. It is that.
I mean, I'd use a tequila shot as the burn in the back of throat analogy, but yeah, that works too. But like, how does that affect? What about though? For you, you're saying you don't miss the production outside of stuff. Or at least you're obviously still doing it. I get it, you're still a lead, you're still doing it.
It empowered me more with the Empire, even.
That's what I was about to get into. Like, so I've noticed your energy has picked up a lot more recently. And I know there's been a lot going on this year, but like your energy has picked up a lot more recently. And I feel like it's come from work. You don't. I mean, I know sometimes you're like, okay, you know what, I was busy at work today, so like sometimes the string is cancelled or whatever. I don't know whether that's because you're more self-aware of like your energy levels, but you have felt like you've been more amped up for like your personal work recently. Do you think that has come from just your work life being more balanced?
Totally. I mean, the work life is already quite balanced, but like just there's only a certain amount of creativity that you can output a day. And it really is taxing on the brain. And the longer you do game art and or game development, the more you'll start to pick up on it. And I think I'm using a different part of my brain when I'm a lead, which is allowing me to have the creative energy to output at home with art that's personal. So arguably, you could say, for at least in my situation, I have even more life balance than before.
Yeah.
And
you're kind of same as me.
Even less drain at work.
This is exactly the same what happened with me. Like when I was at Live 5 and I was doing Decagon, it was like there's 2 art jobs and I was just like kidding myself. Now it's like station counterplay. It's like one is essentially a producer, I guess, and the other is an artist. And it's like I don't get creative fatigue because I'm not being crazily creative. And with our station, it's a lot of producer stuff. Yeah, exactly. Managing timetables, meetings. So I'm guessing it's the exact same for you. Like it's just you start art and you're like, I've got all these ideas in my head and I haven't used up that energy yet.
Yeah, it's weird, but nice. But I don't know how
to. I guess it's what's going to be interesting is when obviously the Empire's growing and you've got people create content. I'm curious to see if your like your lead side of you leaks more and more into the Empire, which it already kind of has. Like, you know, when you look
with the one-on-ones.
Yeah,
like I do one-on-ones at work where it's like once a month you check in on everyone and see how everyone's doing, and if they have any issues, you can help them solve that or help them find a way to find an outlet for that issue so that it can be solved, and then less stress, work better, all that stuff. And I was like, oh man, once I started doing that, I like, why am I not doing this with the moderators?
Mm-hmm.
The moderators, the Empire, they're all there. And the Empire at this point moderates itself mostly. So you basically hit this point where we don't have to talk all that much. So the banter is really small, or it's in the actual channels with the rest of the server. So to try and like bring that back, and then also inject into them the want and interests to push the server in directions they're interested in, like what was it, the sketching, the October man, what's the name of that? Inktober, thank you. See, it's not technical art stuff, it's out in my brain. So Inktober, right? Our moderators took that over and just turned it into a huge thing that, oh man, it was awesome. It was Kaz. And she essentially ran that whole thing, and there were so many people involved, which is amazing because we're a 3D server, right? And to see so many people doing 2D stuff was really cool. So I think in these one-on-ones, it's not only like, where do you think there's issues in the server that we could expand on, or is there something we're missing? Is there certain groups that aren't being heard? Like, what about character artists? What about, all these different channels? Do we make another channel? Where, like, do we need a technical channel now that people are, all these questions? I can now have a conversation with each moderator and see like what their thoughts are on it, or if they have other ideas. So it's more about like expanding beyond just my brain and whatever comes up in the chat. It actually gives like a platform for them to open up their own ideas.
It's recently, I've kind of fell back in love with the Empire, like into the Discord. I'm quite quiet in the Discord these days, mainly because I'm busy. But I remember when but I remember when I first fell in love with the Empire, I was seeing artists I look up to discuss, learn, like they were human. Like there was artists saying, "Hey, I don't know how to do this. How do I do this?" And then someone else would like help them out, and I was like, it was great to watch as me when I was first getting into the industry. And now recently, we're like, what Chris is doing when he's learning programming, and I'm like, I've seen this artist who I've looked up to for years, and he's a novice again. Like he's like, guys, help me. I'm doing this.
Bloom again.
Yeah, and I'm like,
totally.
And this Empire is coming together, and this prominent artist like is being supported by A, strangers a lot of the time, B, artists who, objectively speaking, are not at the same level, yet they're the ones helping him. And I'm seeing like that happen, and I'm like, oh god, I forget how good a learning environment this is. Like for a while, I've been quite quiet, and then I've been watching and going, holy shit, this is rare. Like this is weird, and especially with some more communities have popped up recently, and like almost instantly drama starts, and I'm like, Jesus, nuts. And then I'm like, this Empire has existed for so long now, and stayed so healthy. Like it's active. People are really. It's like a really active. It's the most active Discord I think there is in terms of learning community type stuff. It's like it's really active. No drama. It's not like the mods are having to work overtime to make sure it stays no drama. Like the people just. It's attracted good people.
Man, were you here when the porn bots like invaded?
No.
Oh my god! I didn't even know what to do. I got a message like mid work, and I looked at my lead. I'm like, "There's an emergency in the Empire," and he's like, "All right." And I just left the building, and I was just on my phone like trying to solve this problem. And there's just porn just showing up in every channel, and there's a bot joining every couple of seconds for like 30 minutes.
So it literally just 30 minutes, and then what happened? Did all the mods just have to like? Was it just a bot you had to block, or what happened?
We basically, I mean, it's obvious now. Like you have a key, right? That for joining the Discord, you just kill the key and no one can get in. So then you close the door basically, and then anyone that just joined. This is why the roles are so important, and that's why we tag people as they come in. They have a role that essentially stops them from being able to spam immediately. And we have a bot that manages that. So it's pretty natural to stop an auto spammer.
Yeah, because as soon as they join and they try to post, they're not able to just straight away post, and you're able to pick it. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, and imagine when a bot gets a hold of a code and is able to get into a Discord, and then the bot can confirm that there's no problems and it can spam. It'll
Yeah,
sit
then
there and it'll take that code and then it'll spam it to a bunch of other bots, and then they'll just flood in.
Right.
It's like
Holy
a
shit!
leak
No,
in
I
the
don't
ship.
remember that. I don't remember that.
It was terrible. I
I've been
don't
here for
even
a
think there
while.
was. I don't even think there was 1,000 people yet. I think there was
Oh,
maybe
I
like
was-
500 people,
okay.
maybe less. Dude, the server started as a
League of Legends server.
League of Legends server. Yeah.
Dude, I'm gonna kill it. Fucking Ben Wilson's got to be playing League of Legends again. 2 nights I've been like, I'm gonna do some
Not
work.
raging. As long as you're not raging.
He's on a raid. We had like an 8-game losing streak, and he was like, "I'm not going to bed till we get a win." No, Alex, I'm not going to bed till I get a win. He had like 2 more losses, and then we finally got a win. But I'm like, I was going to do work tonight. Oh well.
Like,
and I reckon he's like low key trying to help me with my work life balance. He's like, just come play games, Alex. Stop working. You don't need to. Come play games, Alex. Yeah,
I mean, you shouldn't work too late.
I find it hard to work. I tell you what, I've realised past 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock, I really struggle to work. I noodle.
Man, that's late. That's late.
Dude, have you not listened to like Michael Kinsey and Hannah? They're like working till 2 in the morning sometimes.
Yeah, see, that's. I won't judge him, but that's rough.
Dude, he's actually, to be fair,
I can't focus on work tasks past 5:30.
My
brain starts to shut down. Yeah.
I go through, so I go, as soon as I wake up, I'm on it. Probably my best hours are from like 6 till 10. That's probably my best working hours. And it's between like 2 till 4, which tends to be meeting times between our station and counterplay. That's when I kind of like go into a lull. And then like hit 6 o'clock, I'm good again until like 9. But it is weird, like when you do go, like, it's super odd when you hear people telling, like, oh yeah, so I can't work past 5:30, for example, like you just said. Like, what is it at 5:30 makes up? Is that your usual time to go home? Is it just a natural thing? Is it time you walk your dog?
I mean, that's exactly like, so it's around the time that 30 minutes later, I need to be taking Madu outside, right? And then feeding him. And then from 6 to 8, that's the window of time to eat and hang out with the dog, because at 8 is most likely when I'm streaming. If it's Monday, Wednesday, or Thursday, I'm streaming at 8.
Just built into habits.
Yeah, so it's just patterns that have formed.
Yeah.
I mean, lately I've been sleeping in a whole lot more, which has been really good. Dude, getting sleep has fixed a ton of my memory problems. I have crazy memory problems, and they just kind of went away once I went from 5.5 hours to 6.5, 7 hours of sleep.
The exact opposite. I've had a couple of lie-ins. So last week and a half, I've been sleeping in. My hormones are all over the shop. Like I can see my moods. I can actually see my moods fluctuating, and I'm like, I'm just in a really pissy mood for no apparent reason. Like today, I don't know why.
And that's from too much sleeping.
No, too much. It's where I've broke my habit. So I used to get up really early, like 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
And now sleeping in, I'm just waking up in bad moods, and it's like it might be. So today, I was like, I got up at like 8:30, and I was like, fuck, I've lost 3 of my good hours, and I was just in a bad mood. And then I'm like, it's not been until like about an hour ago where my mood's like, okay, I'm back to me again. Like I've been in this pissy mood all day, and I'm putting it down to just my sleeping pattern being different. But that extra couple of hours, I was really like, I need to go to the gym or something at that point. Like I was just really pent up and just pissed off.
When you wake up, what do you normally do? Do you go to the gym around the time you're...
No, I wake up, I go to the shop, get a drink, get back, sit at my desk and work. But yeah, since having them extra couple of hours sleep, I've just been in a foul mood.
I honestly, I think it's all patterns as to like what you're used to doing and what has changed. The best advice I think I could give, even if you're doing 5.5 hours of sleep, is to go to sleep and wake up at the exact same time.
Yeah.
Every day. Like if you stick to those, your sleep can be pretty poor, and you'll still be much better off than if you add an extra hour to try and like compensate for bad sleep.
I think I'm going to put my alarm back on. I used to wake up naturally at like 6:30 anyway, just because that's what I was doing for like 5 years. And recently I've been like, I don't actually need to get up because I don't need to be in the office. So I'll just wake up whenever. So I'm gonna start putting my alarm back on and try to get back into my habit. God help me when the gym's open back up, and I've got to try and teach that habit again of going to the. That is going to be hell.
Yeah, that's gonna be rough, man.
So what is actually, so we talk about habits. You've changed a little bit of what you're doing on the stream with YouTube. Like, I know a couple of people have asked me, and it's been like, okay, this is something we're doing. I haven't really gave a definitive answer. I think it's probably a good chance to do it. So you've changed your stream. YouTube. You're not putting the whole VOD on YouTube anymore. You're now putting like a curated video. Let's explain that a little bit, because I think a lot of people have asked what's that.
Yeah, no, that's a good reason to dive into it, because it's like, you have one side of the coin is like it's shorter content to consume. And the other side of the coin is, well, where are the 2-hour videos? And some people will get upset about it because those are on Patreon now.
Yeah.
They're still on Twitch, but okay, I guess let me start from the beginning. So basically, I stream Mondays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, and now Sundays gaming streams. At some point, I'll have to figure out if that's on Facebook or Twitch or whatever.
We're gonna come back to that.
Yeah. But then so I would stream 2 hours each time, and you'd also have the Discord critiques and the portfolio reviews that would intermittently happen inside of those as well. Each one of those is 2-hour blocks of raw footage that I would not edit or change or anything, and then just dump onto YouTube. So it's 2 hours of footage. And when you look at the data, people aren't watching for more than like a maximum of like 15 minutes. Mm-hmm. So that means they're most likely scrubbing somewhere around in the video to find the thing they're looking for that I was talking about in that stream. Mm-hmm. Probably particular to the title of the video, right? So you could argue that's a little clickbaity in some cases. So what I decided to do was like I've had a Patreon forever, but adding value to the Patreon by putting the VODs there instead. And then the VOD is still on Twitch for 14 days. If I get partner, I think it's 30 days. I think I could be wrong about that. It's either 30 or 60 days. But you look like you're thinking really hard there.
So I think it's 60. I'm fairly certain it's 60. I don't want to misspeak, but I think it's 60.
I think it's 60. But once it's off of Twitch, it's gone, right? And with the new like music DMCA, whatever is it, DMCA?
No idea what you're talking about.
It's the so basically, if there's music in your Twitch video, you can get like flagged. Yeah. And it's bad. You can your channel can literally be deleted if it's bad enough.
Oh shit! Really?
Yeah, I don't know how extreme it has gotten, but
how does that go to games though?
I'm like
games have
I don't know
music. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't tried to worry about it too much. But if I take so you take those VODs, I put them on Patreon, the music's automatically stripped from them because I'm telling OBS to strip the music out in another audio channel. So I can listen to music and it's there, but then it's gone in the VOD. So that goes to Patreon. And then key things, it's nice too because chat is really starting to pick up on what I'm doing. So they're highlighting things verbally in chat or written in chat about something they want me to cover or go back and recap.
Are they? Nice.
Yeah. So now I've got these recap videos that go on YouTube that instead of like 2 to 3 hour long videos, they're like 20 to 30 minute videos where it's like the first 5 minutes is a recap. And then the next 3 segments are things that involve like, oh, this is how I'm using beveling, or this is how I set up my viewport, and it's questions that come up in stream a lot. Or it's things that are really simple to explain and just no one's really explained it yet. So it's like I can just do that in 3 to 5 minutes and then put it in that section. And I'm also using the chapters now in YouTube, so you can see in the timeline of the video the segments. Oh. Those are super handy.
Oh,
you can just
I didn't
mouse over the timeline, and when you mouse over the timeline, you see the name of the chapter, and I'll be like, "This is talking about bevels." And like the next video I'm doing is all Substance Painter. It's just going to be like where I'm at in Substance Painter, how to do like fast, like inset lines with filters. And we learned so much on the stream yesterday. It's crazy. So I'm just going to be that Substance video.
It's crazy. The guys in our Discord have been posting like they're doing a lot of prop work and like Substance Painter. I haven't made something in Painter in since the beginning of the year, probably, I'd say. In fact, before, since 2019. And that's how often I'm in Painter. And it's so crazy that I'm thinking, oh shit, if I ever get tasked with something to Painter, I'm gonna like almost relearn Painter again. Like just to get to grips with it. It's well actually so with Painter, like, what are you because obviously you use it at work a lot recently. Like what is it that's what are you learning? Like what new things are you like, holy shit, I didn't see that, like, or know about that, or I'm learning that. What sort of things crop up?
So the more recent one is the panel line stuff, but the one that you showed me where I can use alphas or height maps and stamp those down in a layer. I never did that prior to
anchor points
about that. Well, yeah, and then how to use anchor points and how you can affect your filters through anchor points.
Yeah, that's crazy shit.
The panel line one's sick because that one's just like an empty layer, and then in a paint layer inside of it, you just paint black or white, right? And where you put white, that's where the panel would be, and then you do an outline filter on it.
Oh,
yeah, and that gives you your inset bevel for a panel.
Holy shit!
It's just like Substance Designer. So if you think about it like that,
that's pretty crazy.
Panel shapes really easily.
Yeah, because you just using the same sort of thing.
Control the widths of them as well because that filter has like controls on it.
Yeah, because I used to just use I used to do similar thing. It would be like paint a fill layer white, have height information, have a pin brush, and then just draw straight lines. And
just draw those lines.
Yeah.
Yeah, but now you can
using the outline,
square brush, and just bow, and you've got a panel.
Oh shit!
And because it's doing outline, the outline even has a slider to bevel the corners, so you can control how tight the edge is and how wide the bevel is. Oh, it's so good.
I was having you know what? So we had a meeting today. We have like dailies with the industry guys at our station, and it ended up getting cancelled. But me and Dan were in a conversation. Dan Wade, we were having a chat about this, and it's just come to me again. Isn't it crazy how cyclical and like the industry goes in cycles of like new technology coming along, people hating on new technology, and then eventually they have to adopt it or fall behind. And I look at like Substance Paint, and I'm like, obviously people have already adopted this, but can you imagine when that first came around? Hey, don't worry about ZBrush and high polys, like just draw it all in Painter. Like, why you don't need a high poly anymore? I mean, obviously there's still a place for high polys, but it's like, oh, you shouldn't do that. That's a terrible idea. And then it's like, oh, actually, that's just the norm now. Like, look at textures. It used to be you do it in Photoshop, and then ZBrush, and everyone was like, oh, ZBrush is a cheating way of doing it. Now it's like, you know, you should be using ZBrush. Designer comes along. Oh, that's not the real way to make textures. You should be using ZBrush. And then it gets adopted. Oh, Photoscans comes along. Oh, that's not real texture. That's not the way to do it. You should be using Designer. And then you probably give it a year, and now it's just gonna be like, yeah, you should just use Photoscans.
The shakeup with that stuff is crazy. Do I imagine the concept, the whole like concept artist community, when they started doing more 3D, that was probably a huge shift.
Yes,
because you see like concept artists that are doing a bunch of ZBrush stuff, and it's so messy, but they're able to do exactly what they want. And then they just get it into Photoshop, and then they just paint on top of that, and then they're good to go.
Dude, I was talking to Shadi Sahadi, the one pixel brush guy from Naughty Dog. We were having a chat, and he was on about like exactly this, like, you know, coming from concept art, and then like embracing 3D, and you literally had a choice: embrace 3D or fall behind. And he's using Blender. He was using Blender for all that sort of stuff. And he's just like, yeah, why bother trying to sketch out all this stuff? I could just block this out with Blender, and then I've got an image to start with, and like I've just saved myself a day's worth of work in 20 minutes. And I'm like, yeah, but that gets like, originally, apparently, that when now having that conversation, that sort of stuff was coming through. And photo bashing, when it came along, and Naughty Dog, I mean, actually, they seem to be at the start of most of this stuff, but it's like, it was the first, like, that's cheating, that's not the way to do it. And then, like, you give it a year, and then people defend it as, hey, no, that's the norm and how you should do shit. But what you're talking about with, like, panel lines and stuff like that, I can't wait to see the next thing. I'm always excited for the next big thing.
Yeah.
Have you seen anything? What's catching your eye?
You
have your finger on the pulse on a lot of this stuff more than me.
Yeah, usually I'm paying pretty close attention. I noticed that, I mean, it's not anything crazy new or innovative, but the stuff that Mixer is doing with the Quixel tools, Um, the last update was yesterday, and I think they added 50 smart materials,
Yeah.
and they're all free, right?
Yeah. They're pretty.
Yeah. So the fact that
crazy.
they're just flooding the market with a bunch of smart materials that's a big deal. They still need a baker, man. Bugging the crap out of me. I would use their stuff so much if they had a baker.
Yeah. And to be fair, that smart materials is just, it's going to be the exact same as when Painter first came along, though, isn't it? It's like, because I remember I was speaking to someone about that all it's going to be then is a bunch of students, like, sorry, it's way too easy now. And I'm like, no, because it's the exact same as when Painter came along. Like, a bunch of students will throw bronze armor or tank armor or something from Painter. But we as artists have learned how to pick something apart and be like, no, that's a smart material. Like, they're starting points. I mean, to be fair, even now, I don't think I even like using smart materials. I like building them through base layers. But it's like, them smart materials quickly are giving out. It's kind of like, hey, here's a start point. The idea is it's exactly the same as Megascans as well. They don't want you to take it and use as is. They want you to take it, make it your own, and use it however you need to use it, and then put in your seed. Because I did see someone was talking about this on Twitter, about the mix update. I've got to dig it out. But there is essentially like, it's just making it too easy, and I was kind of like, no, you just took a lot of tedious shit out. Now I get to focus on being an artist.
So I love the idea of it being too easy. Right? the more you get the tools out of the way and let the artist just be an artist.
Yeah.
Right. That's when stuff shines. Literally, by giving even just a new artist the ability to use these smart materials, you're raising the low, I guess that you could consider the lowest bar. Yeah, you're raising that. And so you're essentially, if you look at it in really big picture, what you're actually seeing is us creeping into realistic games faster off of the start. And the sooner we get to the point where we can make a game that's fully realistic is when you have like not the Renaissance, but like full creativity just explodes. Because I have this belief that once you can make a game that is so real that you can't tell the difference, we will lose interest in chasing reality, and you'll get this huge explosion. You'll get this huge explosion of really creative, visually stunning games, and you're already kind of seeing it happen.
Yeah, that PS4
because realistic games they can be very tedious to make, and you're trying to match reality, and then you can just go stylized. It's all choice as well. Some people love stylized. Some people love being ultra realistic.
But don't
so
you think
there'll always be a realistic games, but yeah.
I don't think we'll ever get, artistically speaking, I don't think we'd ever get to the point where we choose ultra. It's always hyper reality we go to, like everything has to be exaggerated
stuff.
Yeah, like color has to be exaggerated. Everything's through an Instagram filter. Like, you're never going to get to a default photo. You're going to get to the edited photo because you have to push the bevel a little bit further out. I think we can. I think we can.
Would that be like 1% of games would at least do it?
I think you'd see a tech demo with it or something. I don't know. I just think them sort of life sport. I think people underestimate how boring life is. Like, when you look out a window and it's like a mountain, a default mountain. It's cool. Put an Instagram filter on that. We'll do some editings. Saturation, curves, brightness, ambience. Suddenly it's like, oh, that's really sexy.
Life's boring because the rules, we already know all the rules, right?
Yeah.
So if you can give me a game where I feel like I'm in real life, and then all of a sudden I can start flying.
I see your point. Yeah. Where you sort of like...
or I can become a superhero, and it feels like I'm in a movie to the point where it's so real that you could lose yourself in it.
Damn, this is a Black Mirror shit, man.
Yeah.
That's it. That's a really interesting take on it. So,
because reality is boring because we know it.
Yeah. So the experience in itself,
down, even though it looks real,
so the experience isn't in the. So you almost like stop appreciating the craft of the art. Like, this is from a gamer point of view. It's like the experience isn't in going through these beautiful environments. We've been through a million beautiful environments. It's so real. The inspiration and the entertainment come from pulling the rug from underneath you and saying, okay, you know how the world works, you know how gravity works, all the rules are out the window, but you're still in this sandbox of reality.
I mean, you're seeing it with VR.
Cool. Yeah.
We're now starting to get into this state where a player grabs a chair and throws it because they don't have a weapon. And the fact that the brain is starting to make that connection.
You do things that you would do in real life rather than what the game wants you to do.
Right. You're being let free from the rules.
That analogy is interesting. No, that one of so say for example, I'm sat here talking to you and somebody breaks in. It's like I inherently would like grab this fan and launch it at someone. That's my human reaction. Whereas in a game, you might be like, okay, I need to find like the X prompt to pick up
you're
the
starting
gun.
to look for an interactable thing.
Well, that's a little bit like with I know Half-Life Alyx kind of exaggerated a bit because I remember someone trying to recreate the scene in a trailer where like they just picked up a chair and then pushed the facehugger into the window. Like the streamer basically spent 40 minutes letting this facehugger jump at him to try and get that. But that's close. But that's close. Like he did during his streams was able to have these impromptu like shit someone's coming at me, brick, throw. And it's like that was human. That was a human interaction, not a gameplay interaction, if that makes sense.
Right.
Huh. That's an interesting take. Damn, Jerry, you're gonna be doing some you should watch Black Mirror. That'd be some
I've watched way too much of that stuff, man.
I can't. Now would be the time for a Black. I love it. Shah's much bigger fan. I didn't like Bandersnatch too much. I found it a bit tedious and like clunky.
Man, what they should have done with that show, just as a little side tangent, if you died, that was it. You don't see anything else, you're done.
Yeah.
But then like all of it's social media and like going online and seeing what other people's experiences were.
You know what? That's the sort of thing. If anyone's going to do it, it'd be them with Black Mirror. Black Mirror, I think, they think so outside the box. They're trying to push the boundaries of what TV entertainment is. I'd love to see. I mean, now I can't believe they haven't dropped a season during the world going to rat shit. Like now is the perfect opportunity to drop a Black Mirror episode. I think it'd be. It'd
probably be a little scary.
Yeah, they do like actually, I suppose it'd be mass panic if you had a Black Mirror season on like COVID.
Yeah.
That'd be sketchy.
There was something I wanted to cover. The website.
Of course.
Being updated. Yeah. Yes.
That's exciting, man. It's looking slick. Like we're all of us working behind the scenes on it to try and get it up to date. It's I'm excited for that one. I think everyone should keep an eye on when it drops. Some exciting stuff coming. I mean, this is what I mean. That's one of the things coming back to what we were talking about earlier, where you've like your energy's ramped up with with the Empire, with doing things like just sort of subtle. You update all your thumbnails from when you announce you're doing a stream. You move to Mixer. You've been proactive in what you're doing, and you're very deliberate. Actually, it's a better way. You're deliberate in what you're doing at the moment. And yeah, website's one of them. Like it's one of the things that's like, okay, let's just do it. Let's do these things. I suppose I know we talk quite a lot. Is there anything else we can keep an eye on that you're sort of planning or plotting in the background?
Oh man. I mean, so I've already decided in my head. I don't know how achievable it is, but I want to do 3 meetups a year.
3.
Once everyone's flying around again. So I want to do 3 meetups a year. So you'd have one in the UK somewhere, you have one in Scandinavia somewhere, and then another one in North America, which could probably each year transfer between Canada and North America.
You want to do a North America one?
Yeah, why not?
You thinking big brain here, boy?
Nah,
dude, we're
gonna go hang out somewhere.
We were me and the guys. So me, Hannah, Mike, and viewers were talking about this. You can get you can rent party houses, like you have 30, like basically have a game dev game jam during the day, and then in the evening it's like parties, like there's pool tables and a bar and all that sort of stuff, like 30-40 people. But that's the stuff like I can't wait for when like all this stuff lifts. But working remote, it's like I need to make the most of going to see people and do things. I'd be a lot more proactive, that sort of stuff. But 3 meetups would be possible. Easy. Could do that.
Yeah, three meetups are doable as long as you're planning it well enough and it's not like landing in weird times.
I suppose it's scope as well. You don't try and go create like
Yeah, I don't want to make a huge meetup with panels and like it's just that's too many pieces to like. The main goal of these meetups is to meet people.
Yeah,
meet people that are in the industry or people that want to get into games and actually have a conversation and put faces to usernames and just basically strengthening the connections with people.
Do you think do you reckon studios would ever want to? Like, I was thinking about this, like, it happened a little bit with the Nottingham one. Like, a few recruiters reached out, like, are you okay if I attend? Like, I know there's a lot of game devs there, it'd be a good opportunity to meet some game devs. And I was like, okay, that's recruiters. That's on the first test trial. Like, there's no real promo to it. Do you see, like, studios still going, hey, you should let us be involved? Especially if you've been a globetrotter.
I could see them doing that. Yeah, I could see other studios wanting to be involved. Because the thing is like, I don't want it to be a huge recruitment moment, right?
It's really artists.
You don't want like a recruiter showing up and then trying to get people's cards or like their LinkedIn info.
Yeah, I mean that's like, what I did say to recruiters when the ones who were at the Nottingham one. I was like, yeah, you can attend. Just leave your business cards at home. If you remember people, if you have a genuine conversation with someone, you remember their names. If they want to give you a business card, they can. But the idea is you don't come and just dish out business cards to everybody because that's just it's not what it's about.
Yeah, I just don't want people to feel like there's the pressure. That's going to happen there. I want people to meet people because like the more people you know in the industry, the better it is for you, honestly.
Dude, I think the last one, like was it? Okay, maybe the venue was. We didn't expect it to do as well as it did, so maybe the venue was a little bit small. But in terms of like, just for me personally, the amount of people I got to meet and actually put faces to names and have a genuine connection with, I was like, God, that was great for me. And I already knew the majority of the players there. Like for me, as someone who I know I know Kem and all the lads, and Hannah and Mike and the Decagon guys, I knew all them. So like all of them connections already made. But even then, I still met like 20 people who I never met before, spoken to, and had a great like interaction with. So you imagine someone's first time.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, for me going, was that before you came to Malmo or after?
After. I came to Malmo last year.
Okay. You were the only person there that I had met in person before.
Oh, really?
Everyone there, I had never met them.
Ah.
Yeah, it's really weird.
I suppose it's also linking up the game communities because the UK scene, for example, is like there's a handful of studios and everyone within them studios all know each other probably. And then same for like Scandinavia. I imagine there's groups of studios and like everyone kind of knows everyone within them studios. The more you get the cross pollination, and then that's only within us. You imagine like the EU versus NA. For example, I imagine most people in EU know who you are. Like, from an artist point of view, yeah, I know Jeremy runs a DiNusty community. Like, nearly every environment artist in EU probably knows your name or knows DiNusty. But NA?
That's weird. I don't believe it.
Nah, probably. I'll put money on it.
Yeah, NA is a little different.
But there's a disconnect, isn't there? Like,
yeah.
It's very odd. If Bridge and I can't be interested. Damn. Where would be your first venue? If you could choose, would it be Seattle since that's where you're from? You're from Seattle, right?
Yeah.
Would it be there? Where would be your first venue if you could choose NA first meet?
Yeah, it would probably be Seattle. I'm trying to think of
Montreal.
I think it'd be the US first.
US first, so Seattle.
Just because I had come from there, and it's kind of like coming back home and syncing up with everyone. So it's a little selfish at the same time.
No, not at all. Well, it's nothing wrong being selfish if it like accomplishes bigger goals as well. The only problem is, I guess, is like another venue someone would be interested in America would be like the LA, like people like Naughty Dog there and Sony Santa Monica and all. But then it's like LA's super expensive. And you know that old argument about GDC, like, oh, it's in such an expensive place and stop hosting it there. But it's like, but if people are there and studios are there, it kind of makes sense. It's a real that'd be a juggling act. So you think we won't be able to get any in this year? I mean, we did the meetup on January 19th this year, 2020. Another January meetup. That should be possible, shouldn't it?
Yeah, depending on things, right? It's kind of hard to tell right now, but
I mean, we've just had an announcement in the UK that we're able to. Okay, we're allowed British holidays, so I'm allowed to go to like another part of the country and rent a cottage and stay there. We're allowed.
Cottages sound nice.
They're good. I remember we stayed, so like for our honeymoon, we stayed in a cottage in Wales, like just in the middle of nowhere, with a dog. Me and my mum and Charlotte and brother went down to, we rented a cottage, like this big massive cottage. It took like 3 dogs down there, and they're great getaways, mainly for the dogs. We do it for the dogs, really, not for us.
You like dogs?
Yeah, dogs. Dude, it's bad with God. My mum's fallen in love with the. Oh, he's a shit. My mum's fallen in love with him, and I'm like, Mum, you've got 3 dogs already. She has 2 Labradors and a Retriever.
Oh man.
Could I manage another one? I'm like, no, you can't. No, we can't. And Charlotte's like, could we get by with another dog? No, we can't. We've got enough dogs. There's 5 between our like my mum's house and here. We got 5 dogs, 5 big dogs, and Barry's growing so quick. He's massive. Charlotte struggles to pick him up now.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Right.
Oh,
it's
man.
So you.
But yeah, I mean, if you were to have, so you say you have one in January, if you had to skip that one, or like, let's assume that there's always one in January, unless it has to be canceled. Then there would be a second one and a third one. The windows of times that those occur, I don't know.
I say
those get difficult because around like August time, you get a lot of people like trying to hunker down on whatever they're building.
Yeah, and also you got like stuff like school holidays to take into consideration. So, say for example, during the summer, it's difficult because it's like everybody wants to travel. So it'd be like you'd have to do January, February, March, April, like late March, early April is a good window because that's right in the middle of like school.
I mean, even if it was just 2, and that second one could kind of have like a wide window of like mid-year or later in the year.
I'd say if that second one, what would probably be good is like, you'd literally go just Q1 and Q4. You'd probably have to do like January to April is like one window, and then the other window is like late September to November, and it's like that's because, like you said, September is like everyone tends to hunker down. You're right at the back end of the school holidays, so everyone's still flying around. Middle of summer, like. Although it'd be good, like I'd love to visit Malmo in the middle of summer, but right in the middle of school holidays.
Right now, it's quite nice.
Is it? It's too hot here. I hate it.
How hot is it?
29 degrees. Is it 29 degrees?
It's 21 here today.
It's too hot. I'm pissed off. I went to get one of them Dyson fans this morning, and PC World sold out of them, and I was like, shit, I'll order one online, Amazon. I'm sure they'll be next day. Don't get it till Monday. We've got a heat wave this week, so I was like, I've got a very shitty tower.
You're in the window. You're like in the window where it's like you thought about it too late, and you've already bought them all.
I was gonna buy one like 2 weeks ago, and I was like, I'll leave it. It'll be fine. And now I'm regretting it like a moron. But. Dude, it's good. I love having you on the podcast, man, because we could just talk shit all for hours. And it's just natural, it's comfortable. It's the most fun I have when I do these.
I always think they're live. I don't know. Like, ever since
you just live stream too much. Oh well, no. You've only been on. You did when you came on. I was still live streaming them.
Yeah. But like whenever I'm talking to anyone, I guess it just feels like
you're worried about what everyone else is thinking over there.
Yeah.
What's chat saying? I'm lost.
Actually, no. Hannah's messaging me about whiskey.
Japanese whiskey. Everyone but drink it. Everyone switch to Japanese whiskey. But yeah, everyone, please remember to like, follow, subscribe. That all of that sort of jazz makes a big difference. You know, the more we can grow this platform, the more stuff like these meetups become a lot more easy to organise. So, Jeremy, my man, thank you for coming back on. It's been an absolute blast.
It's always good, man. It's always good.
Catch you next week, guys.